Whenever you're ready.
I thought Youngstown State played great. They made a lot of plays throughout the whole game. They were really in a great rhythm. They made us look like we were standing still and kind of inept on the defensive end, which is something I think that we've done a really good job with for the last 4 games or so. And so you tip your hat to them because players make plays, and they made a lot of big-time plays. Even down the stretch when our guys were making some plays to make it a game, I thought our guys showed a lot of resiliency with the comeback, which we've done all year. We got some fighters on this squad, and they have a never-say-die attitude. Somehow we need to translate that never-say-die attitude, earlier in the game when we're up 8-2, and not when we're down. And so, but we'll figure it out. We just got to keep grinding, keep getting better. I really like our guys, and really looking forward to get back on the practice floor in a couple days.
Are you encouraged by the fact that, like you said, the never-say-die attitude, and given how much turnover there's been, both coaching staff and the roster, the fact that it's early and that's already there? I mean, that seems to be a big part of the whole chemistry.
Yeah, we've had it all year. There's something about this team I really like. There's a resiliency, there's a toughness, there's been great buy-in to what we do. I think one game this year we did a little bit of a 2-2-1 press, but not a whole lot, and we threw it on them today just because they were just so downhill and such in a rhythm, and it felt like it really got them kind of standing still. But in terms of our players, I don't want to bore you. I can go right through the list of games, but there's been a lot of games where we've been down 8 to 13 points or whatever, and there's kind of that tipping point, right, where it's a breaking point where it can really go south in a hurry. In every one of those games, we've found a way to come back and make it a game, whether it's Stanford, Wofford, Fairfield, and now tonight. And even we were in that boat against Bakersfield, but we found a way to win that one. So it's a great group of guys. Really excited to be their coach.
You said it, and the boys said it, that they found ways to make plays, big plays. But in order to do that, you have to leverage yourself into that moment. Mm-hmm. So what would you say they were doing to maybe offset your effort to get in position to make those plays?
Well, to start with, they made some shots. They're not a great – Keene is a really good player. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's averaging 19 a game, and, we explained it to our guys that Keene is like Casey in terms – now, obviously, a different kind of player, but the last 5 games he's making 4 threes a game at a high percentage. So you expect him to do it. One example I said was like late, I think we cut it to 3, Keene comes down, drills a 3. Now it's back to 6. We come back and we make a 3 to cut it right back to 3. We set up the press. They throw it over the top to number 0, Sean Stewart, and he shoots a corner 3, and I'm like, it's one of those like, yes, I'm glad he's shooting it, but then he drills it, and he steps up to the equation that way. But I felt like, to go back to your question, I felt like we were, for whatever reason, semi-tentative and kind of had this, looked like we were a little dazed and confused, and we weren't aggressive. Early in the game, I felt like, not right at the first 3 minutes, but after that, when we were up 8-2, we just weren't in attack mode. I felt like
defensively.
I'm saying on offense. Okay. And sometimes when you're not scoring, that affects your defense. Should it? Sure. No, sure. But it does. I mean, everywhere I've been, you just get that, and then all of a sudden you start scoring a little bit, your defensive intensity. But I just felt like we weren't in an attack mode on either end of the floor. Like we were kind of passive on defense, not dictating to them, and certainly we were like that on the offensive end.
Felt like you guys got the looks like you wanted as far as penetration, just finishing at the rim for whatever reason wasn't there.
We missed a lot of, I wrote one of the first things when I started watching them on Tuesday night after we beat Northridge, was one of the first things I wrote down was we need to work on finishing drills because I felt like we were going to get to the rim. Now, that really hasn't been an issue for us. We've really done a great job of finishing, and it's not like they have a bunch of shot block. I mean, Northridge has got, DeAndre Jordan everywhere, and these guys don't. And for whatever reason, tonight we just didn't make plays at the rim, which normally we've not had an issue with, in particular with our guards. Our big guys need to start finishing at the rim and making plays happen.
That leads into the next question. Post-production obviously hasn't really been there.
Yeah.
It seemed like, especially early, you made a real effort to get Hunter going offensively, and he, like the rest of the team, just wasn't hitting them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been saying for a few games now is we have to find a way because Tyler and Brandon and Casey and Trae Norris is starting to pick some things up. Eric Robertson actually has been playing very, very well. He struggled tonight shooting it and struggled a little bit defensively, but we have to get James and Sparky going. Austin Sparks has been battling an ankle injury here for a while. That's not an excuse because if you're playing, you better be ready to play. And, we got to get some better actions probably for them to make some things, but we also got to play strong to the rim. And whether it was James or Austin or really our whole team, we just didn't attack the rim. And at the end of the day, our mantra is we got to own the free. When we win the free throw battle, we're going to win most games. And tonight they made more free throws than we attempted, and that's a problem.
I'm sure you're hoping that 79 points is enough for you to get a win. So talk about
Well, we said to the guys beforehand, like we got to do a great job controlling tempo. We talked about their victories on the year. When they get into the high 70s or 80s, they're rarely going to lose. And we said that on a pregame speech, not only to the team but on the radio. Now we still had our chances, but certainly we wanted to play that game in the, in the higher 60s or 70s, and because we're just not built that way yet.
And then you talked about it with the post play a little bit right there, but 41% from 3, 31% from 2. Is that a work in progress with the post play?
Yes, but I know we're going to get sick to our stomach watching this video because just all the point blank shots we missed. And like one thing we said in the first half in particular is, what did we shoot for free throws in the first half? Was it 4 for 6?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that hasn't been our mantra. And there's a reason some of our guys were wide open in the first half and we couldn't throw it in the ocean. Like that was their game plan, keep them off the rim, because they've seen us slice and dice people getting to the bucket and getting fouled and making layups. And I felt like early, once we got that lead, we just started cranking every shot, first shot. And that's just not our philosophy. I mean, obviously, if Casey Bauer's open, you better shoot the ball. Brandon, if he's wide open, yeah, shoot it. Now, he struggled a little bit tonight, but obviously, we all believe in Brandon Boss. But you got to make some plays that way, too.
To that point, do you think there's still because the interior game is still finding itself, that your perimeter guys are kind of like shooting it at that clip sometimes because their eyes tend to look up instead of in until that chemistry kind of comes into play? I mean, you had most of your points from the big three guards.
Yeah.
Yet they had more than 58% of the rebounds.
Yeah.
So you have to be behooved by the fact if you get any production and they develop inside, this could bode well.
Yeah, I mean, our guards have really figured it out. I mean, like our style and how we want to do things. And obviously those guys, I mean, Casey's got 37 minutes, Tyler 36, and Brandon 29. I mean, those guys are playing heavy minutes.
Right.
And so they're going to do that. But Tyler, every night what does he have tonight? 21 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Like the guy just every single night. And he's shooting the other night on Tuesday, didn't miss a shot. Tonight he's 8 for 13, 3 for 4 from the 3, And so they've really figured it out. And like we said, we got to go back to the drawing board a little bit and find a way for our big guys to make some plays. Or we just need to make some changes. It's got to be, nobody's job is safe. I mean, we have to have a competitive environment. And, but we'll get it right.
My last question is...
No, I don't believe that for a second.
I think it took about 15 minutes for Trae to attempt his first shot tonight. And all of a sudden when he started shooting, seemed, posing a threat that he could score. All of a sudden the offense really started clicking.
Trey Norris?
Yeah.
Trae has gone through a lot of different things here, to be quite frank, and he's responded pretty well. And we started playing him probably 2 games ago, a lot more heavy minutes. He had a good run, his first run at Bakersfield, and really hasn't looked back since. He doesn't turn it over. You have a pretty good idea for the most part what you're going to get. He gets a little sticky at times, where he starts just pounding the ball.
Yeah, it seemed like once he started driving, that's when he did.
And that's what he can really do that. And he's got to be a better finisher, but he saw a big left-handed finish and one late. He's starting to he's come a long way in terms of figuring out how we need him to play for us to have a chance. So he's just got to keep on going on that end and just keep delivering the ball, and he'll be fine. But he's made a lot of progress in the last week and a half.
Big week obviously coming up this week, Creighton, and then UNLV at Pentagon. So just talk about that.
It's a lot easier, doesn't it? You know, it's going to be a great opportunity for our guys. Great opportunity for our program. I mean, to go at Nebraska last year, we played at Creighton, and it's a tremendous environment. They're basketball junkies. Coach McDermott's a great coach. They lost a lot of guys last year. I mean, obviously the National Player of the Year, and a bunch of Ethan Rogge and all these guys, and they've had a little bit of a rougher week. I think last week they made the last 2 of the last 3, but they're awfully good. I don't think they've lost a game at home last year, and up to this point they haven't lost. And it's going to be a great test. It's going to be a phenomenal environment. It's going to be a great environment for our guys to go in there in front of a sold-out arena, you know, where it's going to be hostile. And I think they play Nebraska 2 days before we play them. But they got an excellent team. They're ranked in the top 25, a week and a half ago or whatever, 2 weeks ago in the poll. I haven't watched them yet, but I just know enough to know what they do. They're super skilled. They're very intelligent. They have guys that know how to play. They really pass the ball. They can really shoot the ball. And then UNLV, to be able to play, both teams obviously have a great name, have name recognition around the country. To be able to play a school like UNLV with the rich basketball tradition that they have, you know, in the state of South Dakota, it's not a home game, but to be able to play that game in the Pentagon, in that environment, hopefully it'll be sold out, but it's going to be a great opportunity to hopefully represent the state of South Dakota in the right way and to brand our name, you know, for the people of not only Vermilion and Sioux Falls, but the state of South Dakota. So 2 great opportunities, 2 incredible tests for our guys, and we're going to find out what we're made out of.
A little unique with UNLV that the 2 of your opponents to this point have already played them, Stanford and Sam Houston State.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you a little extra tape, if nothing else.
It does. It's you know, it's funny because Sam Houston State opened with them and they had a shot at the buzzer to beat them. And now, with that being said, UNLV's playing, I think, 5 freshmen, like heavy minutes. Rashad Vaughn is like probably going to be an NBA pick, you know, after this year. We have a great matchup for him, though, I'm telling you. No, tongue-in-cheek, guys. But, you know, it does help us to prepare because we're familiar with both Stanford and Sam Houston to see what works and what doesn't work. And Stanford got the best of them, but then I think UNLV won their next 2 games in that tournament pretty handily. So it's an exciting week. You know, we just got it. Nobody's happy. It's really disappointing to lose tonight. There were some, I just thought we showed good resolve to come back and give ourselves a chance. But when you have a chance to make plays, you know, we fouled to extend the game, like I said, you got to come up with that free throw blockout. You know, because if we just get a 2-handed rebound and we get our pinch, now it's a 1-possession game. We got the ball with 40 seconds to go. And when there's that time, you got to make those plays. And we just didn't tonight. But we're really looking, it's going to be an exciting week next week.
Last question, if there is one. Good.
Thank you, guys.